Hey, what's up? This is King Vox, and today we're going to be talking about Path of Exile in 2018. Now, if you've never played Path of Exile before and you like games like Torchlight, Diablo, or even what's the name of that game that I really like, Grim Dawn, you know, this will be a perfect game for you to play with your friends. Now, mind you, it's a little bit boring when you're playing by yourself or whatever, but versus things like Diablo or Torchlight and games like that, this game is still being developed heavily. It's still being primary focused, and what I mean by that is I feel like Blizzard Activision has way too many big titles to really care about Diablo to this extent to focus on content for Diablo. So Diablo content is very sad for how many years it's been out and how big of a company it's backing the game or whatever. So let's talk more about Path of Exile. Now, Path of Exile does have a mapping system that is really dope, but one of the coolest things about this game is it's not pay to win, and it's a free to play game. Now, that's very hard to come by these days because we all know all free to play games have some aspect of pay to win nowadays, and it's very annoying, you know. But what you're getting with Path of Exile is a complete full game, you know, with never having to put any money into the game whatsoever. Like, you know, and it's crazy. I played this game for so many years without putting any money into it until recently. I bought some inventory spaces and a costume and stuff like that to show my support for the game, because I've told you guys several times, this is my type of genre. These are the type of games that I love. It's very hard getting people into these type of genres that aren't already into these type of genres, but you could say that I kind of grew up on Diablo 1 and 2 and stuff like that, so I love Diablo type games. So it was no different when I seen Path of Exile, and I've been playing Path of Exile on and off for years now, and I've been enjoying it. And at first I thought that, you know, it was going to be some cheap imitation of Diablo that was going to die off in a couple of years, and that couldn't have been farther from the truth. Even till today or whatever, the game's still having multiple expansions. The game has a very cool in-depth build system, as well as a high level cap. Now, you know, you play Diablo and you get to max level. You know, everything's about max level. You need to get to level 70 as soon as possible. And the reason for that is so you can get to in-game. Well, in Path of Exile, there's not really a level requirement or whatever to start enjoying the game. In fact, you start enjoying Path of Exile right out the back, like right out the house. You can stumble across a legendary, and I gotta say, it's really enjoyable for me. And I've played so many games out there that just, you know, that follow that same Blizzard mentality where max level is where everything begins in a game, and they forget about the leveling process and stuff like that. Now, I'm not gonna say the leveling process in Path of Exile is the very best, but it's a very fun and enjoyable leveling process where you don't mind leveling up a new character every league. Now, I don't necessarily want to level up a new character every league, but I definitely don't mind leveling up a new character every once in a while, especially with how the builds work here. So I'll show you the passive tree right here, and a lot of you guys are probably looking at this passive tree and saying, holy shit, that is just way too much or whatever, it's too complicated and things like that. But the real fun in Path of Exile for me is actually making your own build. You know, after about a month or so of playing the game and going over this tree, you'll start to understand the tree in depth and understand where everything is and what type of area that you want to go to, you know, in order to build your character. Now, when it comes to building your character, there's tons of tools out there that help you build your character, but I'm just going to put this out there and say that there's almost nothing better than spending time calculating and building a character in this game, and I mean a character that you absolutely love. Like, this isn't a character right now that I'm playing. This is a character that I just copied from the forums or whatever. What I mean by that is the whole build and setup of this character has been copied from someone else's build, and that's how you're gonna start off in this game, because, well, the tree is very complicated for new players, and if you try to build your character right off the bat, you're probably gonna get stuck at like level 40 or something like that. I'm not even joking with you. But even if you're not the type of person that wants to make your own build, you know, just having that option or whatever it's very nice. And you have so many, there's thousands of builds out there, meaning that there's thousands of different classes out there, you know what I mean? So characters in this game aren't necessarily, you know, mages or witches or anything. They're whatever they want to be, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to make your character. You purely almost pick your character just for cosmetics, just about. Then once you do that, hold on, let me see, I'm going the wrong way. Let's go up here. And once you choose the character that you like, you find a build for it that suits you. Whether you want to be a ranger, an archer, you know, you can pretty much be whatever you want to be. You can be a summoner, you can be a warlock, you can do damage over time, you can do massive burst damage, you can do explosives, you can do traps. There is just endless opportunities. If you want to be melee, well, what kind of melee would you like to do? Because you can pretty much do them all here. And if you really enjoy your character, you don't have to worry about, oh, well, I'm gonna hit max level in like 1 week or so, or 1 month, and that's it for my character. There's nothing else to do. This game does a really good job of keeping you with stuff to do, which is really great. First of all, the max level is like 126 or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's 120 something. It could just be 120 flat. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, it will take you about a half a year to get to there, but you won't, nothing's going to be held back from you. It's not going to be like, oh, well, I can't do this or I can't do that because I'm not high enough level. You'll get high enough level within 1 or 2 weeks of playing to actually be able to do in-game content and stuff like that. But the power increases as you level, and you're able to get more passives unlocked and stuff like that, and really turn your build into whatever you want. So builds that may not be viable at level 60, you know what I mean, you would definitely be able to make them viable around like level 90, and if not 90, then 120, meaning that every build in the game you can possibly make viable just by leveling. Now, does this mean that you're going to be gimped? I mean, there's going to be builds out there that are just like ridiculously strong right off the bat, right? But when it comes to you playing and building a character that you absolutely love, you know what I mean, you can't really put a price on it, and having that character be playable. So that's kind of what you're looking at when you build your own character. You know, you build into the fantasy that you want out of a character. You know, maybe you want to play some type of spiritual dude that does weird spiritual things, like, you know what I mean, just anything really. You can build the character creation in this game is not limited. It's limited by your imagination. There's tons of legendaries and stuff like that that buff all sorts of skills in the game. I'm just telling you guys right now, there's a lot. Now, the only downside to this game, I would say, is the visual cosmetics, to be honest. They're not the greatest, but they're not bad. You know, a lot of people can't handle the face down type situation. They want a more of Diablo 3 type art style, but you know, there's not really much out there right now that has that, you know what I mean? So we're kind of stuck with these games. So if you guys see my Diablo video, you guys know exactly what I mean. Like, you know, you either get really great gameplay and kind of like lackluster graphics and stuff like that, which Path of Exile graphics aren't that bad, or you get a game that's kind of ignored, because Diablo is definitely ignored, and it's kind of sad. you know. So this is King Vox. Please leave your opinion down in the comment section below. Have a blessed day, guys.